Here we are. Welcome back to another episode of Music Matters Podcast, Electric Love Festival here, and we have got Cole. Thanks for coming on the show, bro.
No problem, you
It's
guys.
nice to meet you.
Welcome aboard, Cole.
Yeah.
So my first question is, what got you into electronic music, and how did your journey start into it? What influences did you have?
Well, should I put it this close?
Yeah.
This close?
Yeah,
We
man.
got to keep it very close.
I'll dive into the why I use the name Raised by Raves as my company, but basically, my father is the art director for the Pagoda stage for Shambhala, and I was kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say forced, but coerced into DJing and music.
You're exposed to the culture early
for
on.
my 10th Christmas, I got a pair of Tech 12s.
Nice.
And he was like, you're going to figure this out.
Wow.
I was like, okay. And now I'm 21, so coming up on 11 years, like mixing. And so basically growing up around, like, essentially I was raised in the rave.
Yeah.
In a sense. And that's just kind of how I've just always been surrounded by music. Every single summer I would go as a kid to the festival and go and help out and go help in the kitchen, and my dad would go and work with the stage, et cetera, and I was raised around the entirety of raving and festival life, essentially.
Yeah, that's super cool. Does your dad still play at all? Does he play it?
He does the art.
Yeah. Does he DJ?
But I just started training him 6 months ago on how to
So
do
he
it.
made you learn, but he doesn't do it himself.
But I'm teaching him now.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pass
That's
on the
awesome.
knowledge.
Absolutely.
Are you making him start with the turntables like he did with you?
I got rid of the techs about a year ago. We just got a set of 3000s, so we're putting them on CDJs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
I would have bought those techs off you. What model were they?
Oh,
Mark 3s, Mark 5s?
I have no idea. They had some age. They had some age.
Interesting.
Nice, man.
I like that, though. It's a good way to start.
Yeah, people like just think I'm young and don't think I know anything, and like I can go and play on anything.
Yeah, man.
It's like
Yeah,
if
man.
you know how to play vinyl, you can fucking.
If you can beat
figure
mix
it out.
by your ear with vinyl, you're good to go on anything,
Exactly.
pretty much,
Exactly,
right?
man,
It
yeah.
might the technology is going to change. There might be
course.
different buttons. You're going to find out where
Mix-
they are.
if you can't-
But
if you can't mix
mixing
by ear.
if you can't mix by ear, man, it's a different
issue.
I mean, to be fair, some people maybe can't. Is it an issue? No, they can still do what they're doing. They're producing some art, but there's moments, I think, where you need that skill set to do what we're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's key. Even transitions. We were talking earlier on. Transitions in between DJs playing. A lot of places, every now and again, there'll be a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be,
Mix
man.
into
You
the
should
next artist.
Just mix in, man.
Come on, man.
You should be able to find something in your crate that might just go with it.
There's
That work with
set
your
a
stuff.
16-bar loop and just figure it out.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Let's go.
So what kind of music was you listening to back then? Was your dad getting you to listen to?
Started on
That's a good question.
the very first, the first two albums that I started mixing on was what was it? No More Idols by Chase and Status.
Oh, it's Chasing Status, man.
Yeah, so I started on that
Yeah.
and Bass Nectar,
Okay.
like bass music
Yeah.
of all things. But
Well,
that's
what modern garage.
a little bit. Oh, like Rusko
Yeah, yeah.
and Caspa and
Yeah, DJ
Mala
Caspa, Dr. P.
and what else? I basically just got a huge crate from one of my dad's buddies, and it was just like all like that was when Chase and Status just dropped that album, and it was like right when like the 2012, 2011 era of like when everything was just so good with music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
fucking sick.
I guess after, your dad's introduced you to it, he's got you the turntable, you've learned. What was your first gigs? Was there anyone that influenced you other than your dad getting you into it? Was there anyone local that sort of helped you out, got you into the clubs?
Yeah,
Like
let's get
how
your
was your
first
break
club
into
start,
that?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
My first gig was a Cactus Club on New Year's Eve. And I just they had CDJs there, but I didn't even know how to operate CDJs, so I brought my little rolling controller and used that. But my first club experience, I would say, would be, it wasn't really a club experience because it was like a birthday party on the second level of a nightclub, but it was like done at 10 p.m. So it wasn't really a club experience, but that was when I was 15. But I would say my real club experience was 17 at a nightclub in my hometown on New Year's Eve. And that was just like, it wasn't anything special, but it was like, I got to go into a nightclub 2 years before I was legal age. So, I mean, yeah. there was a time where I had to have permission forms to get in so I could go play.
Oh, really?
awesome.
That's fucking sick, though.
And were you doing like your warm-up sets at that point, or were they?
Well, I
thrown-
did the
you
whole-
get in the deep end?
I went in the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I played like peak time for New Year's Eve. Played the whole night, and then. But it's crazy. Up until I would say this past year of, like I would say in 2022 was the first year I got past that warm up / like I'm actually getting like solid set times now, and it's people don't really talk about it, but like starting as a not necessarily like a warm up DJ, but just like someone that's not a headliner or someone that's not below a headliner, you play to bring up the vibe. So when you're tossed into a headlining slot or like a real peak time slot, it's like I found myself so many times being like, what do? I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
man.
So trying to navigate that's pretty interesting, but it's part of the process.
What sort of music was you playing at that Cactus Club?
Not good.
Yeah.
Requests.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Can
would
you
say
play
my-
something we can dance to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say my least favorite would probably be like tropical house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kygo and things like that. I don't like bongos and pianos and things like that. Not really
So
my
then,
thing.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
So after you obviously you played out, when did you start Raised by Raves? How long into your sort of
Yeah, how did you get
journey did you
incorporated?
start deciding, you know what, I'm going to push and start my business and start actually like doing stuff?
I started Raised by Raves the October of when COVID started. So my buddy Eddie and I started Raised by Raves, and he approached me with the name, I would say probably 3.5 years ago, and he's like, I think this name could be utilized, and I was just like, you've never been to a rave. And he's the one who like kind of came up with like the idea of the name, and I was just like, well, I was a little triggered, and I was a little cocky, and I was like, you've never been to a rave. Why would we start something when you've never been to one?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, put it on the back burner, we'll use it later. And then we decided to do like a little Halloween party during the first wave of the pandemic, and that's when we kind of like posted on our that we made an Instagram account and promoted it like through like it was a Raised by Raves Halloween event, and then kind of just sat on the back burner after that. Didn't really do a whole lot with it, and then the following summer I got booked for a bunch of illegal like bush raves, and I went as a rave. I used a rave alias, and I was like living. I just moved out of home. I was like living with some guys that also DJ'd, and I was just like, I had raisedbyraves@gmail.com as just like an email. And I was like, well, if I can get some of these sets, might as well try and get some guys in my house some sets. So I was just like, yeah, we'll do everything through the email, so make it easy because we're all driving together. And then it kind of just started like I got them gigs all summer, and then we went and met up at Prophecy, the second one. And that's where I met our artist Chris and another artist Curtis, who isn't on the team anymore, but and it just kind of like evolved into bringing artists onto a roster. Excuse me. And I don't really know how it kind of all just started. It just kind of started snowballing into what it is now.
Yeah.
And it just came into fruition. It's been pretty crazy.
So is Raised by Raves a collective of different genres, or
Yes.
is it?
So
That's
the way
exactly what I was just.
Was
gonna
it?
ask.
Sorry.
Good question, Brad.
Thank you, mate.
Really good question.
Thanks, boys.
That was one thing I always found when going to music festivals or going to different things. I was like, how come it's always like one set genre, or like it's only house for one night? I was like, I want to bake something so that if we were gonna do a stage takeover or throw our own little rave, like I would have an artist that crushes it in each said genre. So as of right now, we have Chris Corkle. He plays like Liquid D&B and produces his own drum and bass, and like he plays some house. We have Sarah Sukeb, who's based in Calgary, and she's released on Tomorrowland, House Trap, and she does amazing vocals and like makes really good tech house. We have Cameron. He's more of like the melodic techno, kind of like, I don't know. You have to see him to kind of see how his style is.
We've seen him.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Liam Alexander. He plays minimal, chunky, like real feel good tech house.
Yep.
And then we also have who else? I think that's it. I've been pretty hard we've had a roster of about 10 people, and I've cut it down to 6.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah, you got to manage. It's got to be manageable, right?
it's gonna be manageable. Also,
Yeah.
too, I'm not like I run a really tight ship when it comes to partying and when it comes to representing the business and yourself as an artist. And I don't really take because I do all this pretty much sober.
Yeah.
So, I don't really have time to deal with people that are under the influence and making idiots of themselves. I'll call you out and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I run a pretty tight ship, and some people don't really like that a whole lot.
Yep.
So, yeah, they and,
That was a special guest appearance there.
Yeah. Thanks for that, bro.
and
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. It's just people call me a hard ass or stingy, but I just have a vision and I have a dream, and I put a lot of effort and a lot of time and money and no sleep into this, and I'm not willing to waste that on people trying to get wasted on party favors.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not really into it.
Yeah.
If you want to build your brand, you got to fucking be business minded, right? And
Yeah, exactly.
do it, but enjoy it at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can do both.
You can.
Of course
do
you
both.
can. It's a
You
happy
can,
medium.
man.
You can
I just
be
personally,
serious and do business time, but still have fun. We're on 100%.
if we're going somewhere to work, we have fun after.
Exactly, man.
It's work. We show up, work first. We're clean. We show up, do a good job, and then after we go and have some fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
always work first.
100%.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So, you go on.
No, go.
Yeah, I was going to say productions. I want to go and dive into this a bit. How did you first get into production? Like, who showed you, or did you introduce yourself?
So,
Kind of.
excuse me. Regarding productions, I would say who got me into it. When I was originally booked to play Shambhala in 2018, I joined a little collective in Kelowna called Beat Lab, and it was a bunch of producers from Kelowna, and it was like a little school, and everyone kind of like showed each other how to produce, and then it just like wasn't really. They got a little lost in the party favors, let's put it that way, and nothing really happened of it. I kind of just kept focusing on mixing, and I was still in high school, so it wasn't like production wasn't at the top of my priority list.
Yeah.
I was interested in playing sports.
Yep.
Going through high school, figuring my shit out.
Yep.
And just DJing.
Yeah.
But I would say more or less building this team in the last 2 years has inspired me and has taught me more production than the last 5.
Yeah, man.
Because I also too, one big thing is I wanted to build a team of people that are really good in their said genre, but I also wanted to build a team of people that are doing something out of the norm. Doing like I like building people that I looked up to in production, or I looked up to in music playing and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I've learned so much from every artist on the team in the last 2 years than I have like the whole duration.
I think, like you say, it's like any business, right? If you want to succeed in something, you surround yourself with like-minded people
100%.
with the same drive, right? Like,
Exactly.
It's the same in any industry, any art, and
Surround yourself with people who inspire you.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
There's
and
many a
we'll help
successful
push you, yeah.
person has preached the same things
Exactly.
over the years, for sure. For sure, man. So, production-wise, have you got much lined up right now coming out soon? Have you got anything in the
To be
pipeline
honest
we
with
can
you,
talk about?
to be honest with you, in the last 4 months, I've been so busy with festival season.
I guess
and
it's
building
summertime,
Yeah,
right?
it's summertime,
yeah,
man,
no,
yeah.
for sure.
for sure.
And with cracking down on team members and allocating I learned a lot in the 6 months. I can't do all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So allocating certain people to do certain things, or taking certain members out so that it's a bit more manageable, is what I've learned over the last couple months. And to be honest with you, I want to produce music. Just I haven't had the time, nor the energy,
Yeah, man.
nor the patience to open up able to be like, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So
I find a lot of artists that do go and do like Ibiza season, stuff like that. A lot of artists don't have time to make music, and then they'll take
it's
in
draining.
the winter. They're like, okay, now I'm going to dedicate like 4 months.
That's
to,
That's what
yeah.
I'm going to do this year.
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
with a more manageable team and with less workload, and I want to allocate a lot more time to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for instance, we're at Electric Love right now. I have next weekend off for the first time in 4 months.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go home. I'm going to get all my stuff lined up at home, and I'm going to spend a week on Ableton
Yeah.
and hopefully have something done that I can play at the next festival on the 26th.
Which is...
Altitude.
Altitude.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
out Boston Bar. That's SIE events out of Van, Era Records, and Chris. Who else is doing? Who else
Altitude.
is doing Altitude? SIE. No. Like who's putting on it? SIE. No. Chris doesn't know.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris, man.
and True Sound events.
Yeah, True Sound. Yeah. So I was going to quickly ask. Obviously, you know, I'm 32. You're 21, right? But like, obviously, your generation behind me. What kind of advice would you give to up and coming producers breaking the scene now? Because it is kind of a bit saturated in a way. But
Hella saturated.
Yeah, I mean, what advice would you give to DJs, producers that want to break into that scene?
I'd say it depends. What are you in this for?
Yeah.
Sit down, look yourself in the mirror, and be like, what am I doing this for? Is it ego-based or is it love-based? If it's ego-based, go full throttle. Get in there, get saturated. But if you're wanting to do it out of love-based, what? Yeah, I said that.
Thanks again, Chris.
Thanks again, Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Fuck, oh my God, you're the bonus features today, man. Jeez.
And what was I saying?
About the ego thing.
Yes. Okay, so good one, Chris. And if you're doing it out of love, I would say your number one step is to build a brand for yourself.
Yeah.
Build something that's going to set you apart from anyone else on a lineup. Build an identity for yourself that people will be like, oh, I resonate with that. Or like, you know, oh, he's doing that. Or he'll hear something and be like, oh, that sounds like that said person. You know what I mean? So I would say number one is figure out what avenue you want to go. 2, build a brand for yourself. And 3, don't be a presser. Don't press. Nothing's going to happen for you. And if it does happen for you, it's going to be forced, and nothing good happens when you force it.
Yeah.
Let things come to you. Put the work in. I believe in good karma, and doing things out of. I find a lot of people in the industry are very transactional. They're always wanting to do something to get benefit out of it, and for a majority of the people, it works for them. But in my eyes and how I was raised, is you don't do anything to get something out of it. You do it because you want to help someone, you want to contribute. And that's how the mindset I have with my whole team is do it because we actually want to contribute and be a part of all of this.
The scene, yeah.
And bring something new to and bring a fresh wave of something. I feel like we're kind of going a little bit in a circle. We need something. We need we have the commercial festivals. We have these raves. We just need some oomph. You know, and that's what I'm trying to bring with the whole Raves by Raves concept is bringing I believe that if you're a true artist, you should be able to show up sober, on time, and do an amazing set. And that's how I run my team, and that's just what I believe in because I feel, and I personally get high off of playing music in front of people, and that's what my passion is. I love playing music in front of people, and that's what gets me going. So, and that's the people I'm surrounding myself with. And that's just what I believe in. So
talking about Raves by Raves and everything going on, what are your future plans? And do you have any other big events coming up? Obviously we talked about Altitude, but after that, anything through the winter, or are you just going to focus on producing?
I'm going to be sorry to cut you off. I'm going to be focusing on production, and you'll see what happens.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know.
Sweet.
I do know. I know some things. I don't know some things, but I pretty much take it day by day. I put in work, and just opportunities come and go, and we have some things booked for sure, and I have some ideas for the brand. But I like to keep the whole identity of the brand and also too, a lot of people don't know I even run it. Yeah, I like to keep it 100% anonymous. And just keep it about the art.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not doing it out of ego. I'm doing it because I want to contribute something and bring something new to the table.
I think that's a good thing as well, because obviously, if you're running a brand, people can approach you and be like, "I want to be part of it." But if they don't know you don't run it,
you don't even want to see my messages.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's
a handful of individuals that probably ask me once a week.
Yeah. And if they don't know that you run it, you can just do your thing, man, as an artist.
Press.
Yeah.
But with the whole branding, I like to keep it if you know, you know.
Yeah.
That's just how it was. Just one of my mottos that me and my buddies had in high school, and it was just if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
You'll see us. We're around.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're lurking.
Looking forward to see what you get up to.
Yeah, we got 3 more festivals or 3 or 4 more festivals among the team, and then I'm pretty raved out.
Yeah, man.
I'm ready to have some clean nostrils. Dirt's a little.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're at Electric Life Music Fest. Raves by Raves, a few of the guys on the roster are playing by Raves by Raves. You planning your set, or what kind of music are you going to be playing?
For tonight?
Yep. Yeah.
Dom over there, still London. Him and I are doing. I kept him as a surprise guest for tonight.
Yep.
And yeah, we're gonna get wavy with it. We have some tunes prepped, and we're just gonna go with the flow. I'm normally not like that. I like to go in with I like to plan my sets a week in advance, have everything in key, and have everything matched. But that's because I'm an OCD freak show.
Yeah.
And tonight I just felt we could go with the flow, have a little fun. We're surrounded by homies, and yes, have some fun with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
Go and crank up that Function 1 sound system.
Oh yeah,
on the Zen
the trims are going to be going up.
Yes, mate.
Trims are going to be going up.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. We'll wrap it up there then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, mate. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show, Cole. It's super nice to have a
Appreciate
chat.
Yeah,
Catch
man.
up. Awesome, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, love.
Have a great set tonight, mate.
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
looking
Fun.
forward to it.
It's going to be
bro.
good.
Yeah, man.